I'd love to support ICAN. I feel like it's an organization that really has their finger on the pulse of what's important.
ICAN is the first representation I've seen myself as true civic representation coming out of a grassroots movement.
The Democratic Socialists of America, if you want to get funding and if you want to come under their umbrella, there's only 2 foreign policy questions you have to fill out correctly. Do you promise to BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction Israel? And do you promise never to visit Israel?
When I went to Israel, it's like 7 times been to Israel, every single accusation or every single misinformation about Israel shatters the moment you land in Ben Gurion.
We know that there were a lot of cities where you had organized groups, probably funded by CARE, going to try to get city councils to pass ceasefire resolutions, one-sided against Israel and pro-Hamas. And some of the council members there may not have really been like Mamdani, who I believe is a true believer.
At a July 2023 rally in Herald Square, Mamdani led a crowd of 500 chanting BDS, BDS.
BDS is about one thing: annihilating Israel, regardless of anything else they say. He himself said that he supported the idea of globalizing the Intifada.
Yep.
The meaning behind this word is suicide bombings, bombing hospitals, school buses, hijacking airplanes.
I grew up in Iran. We had to escape under gunfire into Pakistan. When I went to Columbia University, I took a lot of Islam classes because I wanted to know why we had to leave our country. I wanted to know why they hated us so much. I've read the Quran. It's not nice to Jews in the Quran.
By the way, you have so many verses that talk about the children of Israel, how they were chosen, how they were blessed, and you have so many other verses that are very violent against Jews. We need a reform. We have a great Jewish community in Abu Dhabi and Dubai when we have the Abrahamic family house where a synagogue sits next to a church next to. They don't follow this. So I'm just saying that there are moderate Muslims who believe that these religious extremist interpretations should be legacy.
Are the moderate Muslims afraid?
Of course. Of
What
course.
will happen to you?
Of course. So we are afraid because I'm a practicing Muslim. I pray, I fast, and how to say? I'm not a religious scholar, but I'm just saying, if I was caught by the hands of the radical Islamists who were, for example, ruling with Sharia, the first thing that they would do, they would execute me because you know why? Because I'm calling for peace with Israel.
Yeah.
I just have a question for you, my friend, Luai. It's about what you mentioned to do with the 2 faces of Al Jazeera. In Arabic, it is the media voice for Hamas. In English, it's the voice for LGBT. Do they understand that in the Arab world? And do they just see it as a means to an end?
Yes, but they don't believe that they will be killed. Because I met many of them, because I always love to have conversation. They think, no, we'll be fine if we go to Gaza. Okay, good luck.
I'm new to ICAN. It's brilliant seeing the work you're doing in terms of the targeting, the profiling. It's phenomenal to hear about all the work fighting the radicalism. But why is the discussion not about how are we going to fight fire with fire to nurture the politicians, to fund the best Jewish activists?
Well, that's exactly what we want to do. We need to show people what's at stake. People traditionally have not thought that state and local, as Dylan said, that they play a major role. We now see with Mamdani that it does, and so we need to have the resources. We've developed this tool, the Mamdani Index, but we're not just a 501c3, we're a 501c4, which means that we're not just a think tank, we're an action tank. And the idea is that we can and should support candidates for that. That's why you need resources. So our goal is not only to be able to eventually have enough resources to actively support people who are going to be helpful or